everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. Glad to see you here. My name is Anita, and I do this every Sunday night at the same time, same place, although we have different backgrounds sometimes. If it's your first time ever here, welcome. I've been doing low carb, then keto, then carnivore. It's been a 10, 12-year journey now. I've lost 145 pounds, just in case you're new here. And still working on it and still slugging away, trying to follow the proper human diet, just like everybody else here. And tonight is just kind of an open discussion. I'll tell you a little bit about my week and what's been going on, and then we can take questions from there. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. We have Bonnie and Melissa, also known as Copper's Carnivore Kitchen. They are in the live chat moderating. They're there to provide links, answer questions, that sort of thing, and keep the peace. And they will also there'll be some banners and things about our giveaway. So our giveaway today is 2 carnivore bars. You have to put the word eat meat as one word, no space in between the eat. So it's not eat space meat. Eat meat, all one word, for your chance to win 2 carnivore bars. These are super handy for anytime you travel. Like, I just love these for traveling. I loved them the other day when I had nothing to eat. I wasn't traveling. I was just here at home and I had nothing. It was one of those days. And I ate one of these and was perfectly satisfied. So we'll do that draw at the end of the hour. And you'll have a couple of reminders about that too. I have a video of the week this week. I just saw it this morning. It's been out for a couple of weeks, but sometimes it takes me a while to catch up on all the videos I want to watch. It was an interview with Dr. Rick Johnson. He talked about how our diet is linked to dementia and Alzheimer's. And that subject is really near and dear to my heart. And, many of you know that I took care of my mom for a few years while she went through that. And it is not a disease that I ever want to do. And so almost everything that I put in my mouth or not put in my mouth has that filter. Does this contribute to dementia? If the answer is yes, I run, not walk away from those types of foods. And that includes alcohol and sugar and processed foods, all the stuff that we're here trying to do together. So please give that video a watch. The interviewer was Dr. Boz. Regardless of, your feelings about, because people are weird about Dr. Boz. They either really like her or really not. That was a great interview, and they had fantastic information to share. So I think I've covered all of the points. It's been such a busy week for me. I actually had a plan for tonight. I was going to do a talk tonight on adaptation. What happens when you become fat adapted, how that all works. And I'm pushing that out a couple of weeks. I just had too many unexpected things happen this week, so I was unable to prep for it. My cousin showed up in town unexpectedly, and so ended up going out for dinner with her. And then the next day, 2 of my adult kids came, and they're now gone, but they were here for a couple of days, and so I mean that's all great. It's nice to have family come, and it's nice to socialize with people. But it basically took me away from all the things that I try to do with my job and everything. And part of this is my job. Coming up with things to work on for you guys, coming up with cheat sheets and trying to prep for these lives, because I don't really want these lives just to be a chat every week. I want you guys to walk away with things, like with takeaways, with things you can use cheat sheets, handouts. The moderators help me so much with preparing for this. And if I'm not available to prepare, we get just a Q&A tonight. So I hope that is okay. I hope you guys don't mind that. That sometimes this just happens. Next week, I do have somebody coming on, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later because actually somebody asked a question. I saw it pop up in the chat there about what my goals and challenges are going to be for October. And so I will talk about that in a little bit, and it will be the subject of next week's live. So I won't talk about it too much, but just give you a hint of what's coming. So get your eat meat in the comments, and let's have some questions. Put question marks in front or the letter Q. If there's anything you want to talk about this evening, I'm open to it all. So I'm gonna just say some hellos first. I'm gonna just take a quick look over here in the live chat and see what's going on, because I saw a few people pop in. Hello, Ron from Ron's Keto Cafe. Nice to see you here. Got some of my members here from my YouTube channel and from my Facebook group. Deb Dickin, hello. Nice to see you here. Luija and Jody. You guys are regulars. It's always good to see you coming in here. Danny, it's nice to see you as well. Nick, nice to see you here too. Quad Girl, Valerie, Cheryl, nice to see you. And, I watched your video today, and Cheryl has a channel called Sweet Recovery. They're just getting off the ground. So check that out because they are just getting started. But there are a few interesting videos there to watch. They do counseling with sugar addiction, and that's something that some of us have, I think. I know I do. So nice to see you here, Cheryl. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go over to the questions. Oh, Carnivore Collective is here. And Sandy and Mary. Proud to be weird. Love that name. Recovering Carbaholic. Anne. That's great. Pam. Okay. All right. I could do that all day because it's just scrolling and there's more and more names. So I'm so sorry if I can't get all of you. I always tell myself I shouldn't do this because I don't want anyone to feel left out. I appreciate every single one of you that are here. Okay. We do have a couple of new members to celebrate. Carrie, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I believe she is from my home province of BC. And Kim, nice to see you here too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Karen caught alive and early. Yes, some people do arrive early, which is always fun. So Low Carb Spin is in the house. Hello, ladies. Nice to see you guys here. Okay, so let's start with Shannon's question. Do you have goals or challenges in mind for October? Yes, I do. I was all set to go, really hardcore lion diet for October. And then after some conversation with some other people, with some of my YouTube members, we meet Friday nights in a Zoom. We talked about it, and I am going lion diet, but I'm not giving up my sardines because my sardines are healing my knee, and I'm not willing to give that up just so that I can say I went lion diet. So, but what does it mean? So what it means is that I am going to be eating ruminants, so beef, lamb. Decided not to go for the giraffe. If elk comes my way or bison or any of those, goat, whatever, harder to find, but they are ruminants. And so I would certainly go there. But beef and lamb is easy for me to buy around here. So I'll be doing that. I'll be eating sardines, and I might eat salmon. just because of the fatty fish have the high omega 3s. That's very important to me. I have my knee pain used to be, 7, 8, just always there. It's like always in the background, this low level pain that, went from low level to high level, just all the time. And now my knee is stiff, but it doesn't hurt. So it's like sometimes I forget that I have a knee issue. I have bone on bone arthritis. And the only indication for having a knee surgery, which I'm on the list for, and I imagine they'll kick me off the list once they call me and ask me if I want the surgery, and I say no, I'll get the boot. But I just don't feel like I should get the surgery if I have no pain. And that is because I think that, I think that's the reason that they do it. They aren't, it's not really fixing anything other than pain. So that's where I am. That's what I'm going to be doing. So I won't be doing dairy. And I bought decaf coffee today so that I can spend the next week weaning myself off the caffeine. And then there'll be also no coffee for the month of October. And what happens after that, I don't know. I'm committing to the month of October. That's all I'm committing to. We'll see what happens after that. I'm going to give it a go. And I'm hoping that some of you will support me here, and you don't have to join in. Nobody has to do what I do. I just do these things to challenge myself, to break down, barriers that I think I'm having, to break through self-limiting beliefs that I have about myself and what I'm capable of and what goals I can reach. And yeah, that's going to be my October. And I have a special guest next week who has just done 30 days of strict line diet, and so we're going to talk to her, and she'll answer all our questions. I'm pretty sure she's very good that way. So, next question. Deb, do you have a video for maintenance? I don't have a specific video for maintenance. We are planning to it's on my topic list for upcoming live streams, because I do get asked a lot about it. And I think that, there are people that have been maintaining for a while that I can talk to kind of get the information that's needed. And I understand why some people need that, because I think that maintenance can be very difficult. I remember, like, I have in earlier years, when I was younger, I guess they mean the same thing. When I was younger, and I would say go to Weight Watchers or go on some diet, I've been to a goal weight before, and I've never done maintenance. I hit a goal weight, stayed there for a day, 2 days, and went right back up the scale again, because many of us who have been on this journey, if you have a history like I have, where you've done the repetitive dieting, the up and down, jumping from, Weight Watchers to, all the different diets that are possibly out there. If you've been on that up and down train, you know that we spend so much time going down the scale, losing, working on the weight loss, and then going right back up the scale, and there's no stability. And so, I mean, I say that I've never really been on maintenance, but I actually have been on maintenance, because I haven't changed much in the last, I guess, couple of years. Although I'm losing enough right now that it's not really, I'm not really on this big weight loss. It's like a few pounds in a year. I'm going down in size, but slowly. So my closet is full of size 12s and 14s. Medium, I wear a medium shirt. Whereas, when I started, it was full of size 26 and 3X shirts. So those first, like, I went from a 26 to about a 20 quite rapidly in the beginning. And then it took me several years to go from, say, the 20 to the 18 to the 16. That all took a long time. And then it took me, a couple of years to go from the 16 to the 14. And now I'm probably a 13 or whatever. Like, I'm struggling. The some of the 14s are too big, but the 12s are too small. You know what I mean? So it really, it has slowed down enough for me that I feel like I'm in maintenance, and so I sort of feel like I know something, but not being at my goal weight yet. I'd like to get input from people who are and have stayed there, and I know quite a few in this space have. So that is pretty exciting. So there will be some information coming on that. Deely says, I learned a lot here. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really try, that is my goal for sure. I don't want I don't want the live streams to just be, a chat fest. I want people to feel like they're walking away with some knowledge, some new information, if possible, too. Danny says she always learns something. Oh, I really appreciate the support, you guys. Glenda, I have a question. Is it normal to have high blood sugar, 118, when eating meat and eggs? Well, it might be normal, for some people. I mean, mine has been normal for a few years now. Well, normal for me is in the 70s and the 80s, and it doesn't move much when I eat. Right now I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor. I got the 2-week, you're allowed to have them now without a prescription. And so I wanted to test a few foods. Plus, I wanted to test high protein meals because, quite often someone will say to me, oh, you can't eat more than this many grams of protein. It'll spike your blood sugar and stuff like that. So I ate a meal the other day that was 65 grams of protein, I think it was. And it doesn't spike my blood sugar at all. Like, it just, you barely saw a little nudge there. But that's my normal. You didn't say what it was before you eat the protein. Like, is this sort of your normal baseline, all the time, or does it go up to 118, when you eat your meat and your eggs? I can't say if that's normal for you. And if you have underlying issues, if you have type 2 diabetes, that might be perfectly normal for you. And if your fasting insulin level has a high baseline, that's also going to make a difference. So, that is something that I can't really answer for you because I just don't know anything. And you guys don't forget, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really diagnose things at all. Not even not really. It's just not. But yeah, definitely if you're worried about that, look into it. Maybe consider testing at intervals, and taking a look at what's make sure you're not having any sauces or seed oils or anything else with that, and go from there. Okay, thank you for the question though. Cat Diamond, I'm going to try the lean day, fat day starting this week. How many of each are you doing? I only do I try not to do more than one lean day a week because it drives me crazy. But I try to do a higher fat day on either end of that. So for those that maybe don't know what I'm referring to, a lean day for me is similar to protein sparing modified fast. It's just like a little midweek thing that I do, a metabolic reset of sorts. I don't follow the traditional protein sparing macros because 30 grams of protein in it, or sorry, 30 grams of fat in a day is too lean for me. I start to feel mentally unstable by the end of the day. Heaven help anybody who crosses my path with the wrong thing at the wrong moment. I just I cannot function properly. Like I'm foggy and other things. So I need the higher fat, but it's still lean compared to my other days. So let's put it that way. It's just I'm just choosing leaner meats, and I'm not purposely trying to get to 30 to 30 grams of fat. Just can't do it. The other days are just normal for me. Normal carnivore is anywhere between 60% fat is usually the lowest to about 80% fat. So if I was to do a lean day, I would make sure I do get to that 80% fat the day before and the day after, just to keep my sanity. Thanks for the question. The Carnivore Collective. What style of carnivore is your favorite, and what is your current variation? That could go in many different ways. So maybe you mean like, do I do intuitive eating, or am I following some kind of set macros or whatever? My favorite way is when I don't think about it at all. Like that is the most freedom, when I just get up and eat the meat, eat when I'm hungry, and don't eat when I'm not. So sometimes that's hard for me, being a bit of an addictive personality. I can certainly overeat whether I'm hungry or not. I mean that's how you get to that's how you get to over 320 pounds, by constantly eating when you're not hungry, and eating the wrong things, of course, too. At least this way, I can maintain for a long time eating as much meat as I want. But I do have more weight to lose, so it is something, on my mind. But yeah, so by variations, I'm wondering if you're meaning different tweaks, different metabolic resets, that sort of thing. I certainly am a person that every now and then I like to throw in something new just to keep things interesting and fun. If you can call the Sardine challenge fun. It is fun when you do it with other people. It can be a lot of fun, and doing it in a group or something like that, or an egg fast, or okay, here we go. Here's a clarification. Thank you. Do you prefer like a balanced carnivore with all the different varieties of meat? Do you include dairy on a regular basis? Are there certain carnivore items you would avoid? Oh, okay. Thank you. So I do include dairy, and it's something I have trouble moderating. So here I am, in October, I'm about to embark on a month of dairy free, and I've done those in the past. And every time I do them, I get better at not taking it all back. So for instance, having things like cheese in the fridge is a real problem for me. I want to eat the cheese, and not so much the cream. I can moderate the cream easier than I can moderate cheese. But for my lion diet, which is more like a sea lion diet, I guess, in October, I will have no dairy, like no cream, no cheese, like zero dairy of any kind. And that includes butter. I'm going to use tallow and those sorts of things. So it will be completely dairy free, and I'm going to see how I do with that. And maybe it's just cheese that's going to have to be the thing I never have again, and just be able to have the butter back. I don't know. I do like to eat a variety of meats when I am eating carnivore, but I really focus on the beef because I do feel the best. Kind of love pork belly bites. Those are fantastic. But I try not to have those too often because I can certainly overindulge in those. So maybe a couple of times a month I'll have pork belly bites, or even a baked pork belly. Um, Chicken is, I'm okay with chicken, but I don't have it a lot. So I would say on a daily basis, I have beef or lamb. And those are my favorites. Those are the ones that I really lean into. I feel the best on. So in October, I'll be eating a lot of beef and lamb, and no dairy. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. So dairy is the ones that I'm avoiding. Oh, and I just want to quickly add in there too that sometimes processed, uh, I can see that I have a problem with processed meats, I guess. So we're talking bacon, deli meats, those sorts of things. And even, I'm going to say this out loud, even when I take a roast and I slice it thin and I dehydrate it and I salt it, that is minimal processing, but it's enough that sometimes I cannot moderate that either. So these are things, these are things that get this food addict sometimes. It's hard. This is not an easy battle, and I know that some of you know what I'm talking about, and some of you are like, "What is she talking about? I can eat all I want of that. It doesn't bother me." It just shows how different we are. I just know that I'm becoming more self-aware. I had no self-awareness for years, and now I'm self-aware, and I start wondering, is that a food I should be moderating? Is that a food that is, not serving me well? And maybe I take a break from it and find out and see. And sometimes I don't like the answer I get back, and I take it back and have to do that again, a few times. I have to practice living without it a few times before. It took me years to get rid of nuts, like years, but I haven't eaten nuts since 2017, I think. So yeah, it's these, and I know nuts are not carnivore, but I was still keto then, knowing I had a problem with nuts. So it's a journey. It's a journey, and I'm working on it every day, as you can tell. So, but thanks for asking that question. Okay, Meredith. Meredith, is your family carnivore too? Any tips to get others on board? So my family is definitely not carnivore. I even have some vegetarians in the family, and but I just keep doing what I'm doing. I do have tips to get others on board, because I did go through this with keto when I was in the beginning years of this journey. I was low carb and keto, and I had kids living at home with, and their friends were there. I had all kinds of stuff, all kinds of other people to feed, it seemed like, at all times, and also had my mom living with me for a long time, in her dementia illness. But getting others on board, I didn't so much get them on board as I showed, like I made food that was single ingredient food. So I would eat, like I would always have plates of meat, vegetables. I would serve, organic things, fruits, like whole foods that I think is okay for growing kids to eat. I'm not saying everybody needs to be carnivore, or everybody needs to be keto. I honestly think that the answer to that is it depends. But I do think that humanity as a whole needs to avoid sugar, grains, alcohol, seed oils, processed foods, ultra processed foods, those sorts of things, all of that. If they eat, like my vegetarian family, if I see them eating organic fruits and vegetables, and they're not buying the junk vegetarian stuff. They don't buy the fake meats, the Beyond Meat things that have 1,000 ingredients other than meat. Um, if they're eating whole foods, I just all I can do is support them in that. I would rather that they ate meat, but they don't, so I can't force them. Uh, but with your family members, what you can do if you actually do want them or need them for health reasons to be keto or carnivore, there's so many recipes out there too. I mean, you can look on my channel where I've made carnivore and keto pastas and breads and things like that. People like Chris Cooking Nashville, they have lots of the family friendly recipes. You know, Courtney Luna, she's got her new cookbook out, and she makes stuff for her kids. She's got little kids, like, so they're learning young, and that's really the best time for kids to learn what is a good food and what isn't. So I just always, back then, I just always tried to set a good example, and the kids learned what whole foods were and did not have a lot of junk food. So thanks for the question, though. It's a very good one, and I know that a lot of people struggle with that. Karen, love the video with Kelly Hogan and others. Success stories was awesome and encouraging. Yeah, I'm a super fan of Kelly, and so it was fun to being there. Debbie, any tips for getting past a stall? Oh yeah, I've been on many stalls. So we did we I think we might have even I've done a video on stalls, what weight loss stalls mean to me, and we've done live streams on stalls before. I think there's so many different things you can try. And I always have to start with, do you know what your TDEE is, your total daily energy expenditure? Because you, as a starting point, need to find out if you're eating too little, which many people do, which causes a stall, or if you're eating too much. And so, you need to have that kind of starting point. And it's helpful to track even just for a week or 2 weeks to see where you're at and how it compares to your TDEE. So that's the food part of it. The other part of it is sometimes, and I just talked to a doctor in the last few days about certain things that's coming out too. If you're wow, I can't even talk tonight. If your sleep is broken and your sunlight and your circadian rhythm, and there's a host of other things we talked about, if those things are all broken, you can have a fantastic diet and still be stuck, because there's things happening underneath that many of us don't understand. So that's important too. But I don't know, a stall can be caused by so many things. It can be something completely obscure like that, or it can be as simple as you're eating way under, like, maybe you're supposed to be eating 2,000 calories a day and you're only hitting 800 calories a day. You're gonna stall. And same with vice versa. Maybe you're supposed to eat 2,000 a day and you're actually eating 3 or 4,000 a day. So that's a very basic thing. Tweaks, and sometimes maybe you're just eating at and around your where you should be, like I do, and you need these little tweaks. I find that sometimes doing a couple of days of sardines just helps me move that needle again, and I love doing that. So those are all different things, metabolic resets, tweaking things up, knowing where you stand now, fixing your sleep, fixing your access to sunlight, things like that, they're all things that can help. So if you can check out, the video that I did recently on what a stall is, that also puts it into perspective. I call it practicing for maintenance sometimes, just because it is a good way. there is something to be said about being at a stable weight for a long time. Sometimes your body just needs to catch up. If your weight hasn't changed in a week, that's not really a stall. They say it's six weeks with no inches lost or no weight loss. You can start calling that a stall. But a lot of people are like, I didn't lose this week. I'm stalled. What do I do? Sometimes nothing is the best course of action. So not knowing, where you fit into all that I just said, I hope that wasn't confusing, but thank you for the question. Mary Lou, did you lose the majority of your weight on keto or carnivore? So I started off low carb and transitioned into keto and into ketovore and then carnivore. I would say I lost probably between 80 and 100 pounds on on keto in the first few years. And then I kind of just stayed the same up and down for a number of years. And so now the additional 50, 60 pounds has come from getting everything out and easing into carnivore. So, maybe half and half or maybe a little bit more on keto because it was in the early days when I had a lot to lose. It's harder now as I'm close to my goal. So, I think that different protocols will work for different people. There are people that went keto all the way and got to their goal weight, and I just wasn't one of them. I had to give up more stuff. So, and I'm okay with that now. Okay, Danny, we are going sea lion diet for October. Seafood plus lion diet. Danny, does that mean that you're in with me? I'm so happy to hear that. Love it. Roslyn, oh dear, what can I replace sardines with? I'm allergic to all seafood. Well, if you're allergic to all seafood, definitely do not try any of the seafoods because we don't want that. Are you wanting to replace sardines because of the omega 3s? Is that your motivation for this? I if that's what it is, then I would find, I guess, a non-seafood, because I think a lot of the omega-3 capsules you'd have to be careful because they use fish oil to make them. But I believe there are some plant-based ones. I just don't know what they're called or where you would find those, but maybe somebody in the chat knows and can direct you. Yeah, my love affair with sardines is because of the omega-3s and what it's doing for my knee and all my other, I don't feel like I have any aches and pains at all. For someone, I'm 66 and I know that a lot of people that are my age that I know are suffering with various things, and I just I feel so strong and alive, and I think it's because the omega-3s have been a big part of that for me. So yeah, if you can find some kind of omega-3 supplement that does not include fish oil, then that would probably be your best bet. Thanks for the question. Cheryl, do you do any particular exercise to strengthen your knee muscles to support the joint? Yes. So I continuously every day do the squat challenge. Now, I started doing squats a few months ago, but I didn't do it the way I'm doing it now. I just started with just as many as I could do in one sitting. And that's not many when you have the knee issues. And I started just standing up out of a chair, not holding on. because my legs were pretty weak at that point. So I quickly progressed from there. Doing these exercises is very progressive. So I tried to work up to 100 squats a day back then, but I was doing them in spurts of, say, 25 at a time. So I'd have to remember to go back and do another 25 and another 25. Um, and then that kind of dropped off. But we talked about this recently, where somebody put a study up on Instagram that if you set your timer and you did 10 squats for every 45 minutes throughout the day while you're working at your desk, that it was as effective as going for a 30-minute walk. And I thought, well, I could do that. I'm addicted to doing that now. I do that all the time. I get up in the morning and I do my first set of 10 squats before I come to my desk to work. And I set my timer. And every 45 minutes I get up and I do 10 squats. 10 squats is so much easier than doing 25 all in one shot, let me tell you. And by the end of the day, I can tell I'm going deeper than I was first thing in the morning. So even by the end of the day, I make progress. And I just find them fairly easy to do now. And I know that that's a really good thing for strengthening around your knees. And I'm able to go for walks and things like that, because of having that extra strength in my legs. So highly recommend it. But thanks for that question. Mary, I am doing the squat challenge thing. Yay. And I'm wondering if it hurt your knees when you started. I'm having to do red light therapy to deal with it. If you did have pain, how long before it stopped? So don't go to the point of pain. I just want to say, because we all have to start somewhere. And, if your somewhere is just getting up and down out of a chair, or maybe going down just as far as you can, but not too far, you will get better at that over time. And, the problem with trying to do too much too soon, too deep, is that you can hurt yourself, and it sounds like you have. So then you get, that's a bit of a setback. So I would say, go easy. Like, do less can be more. So go a little bit less. I don't know are you a sardine eater? I can't remember, but if you are, bump them up. Eat a few more, or eat some salmon or herring or something else. Like try to get even more seafood in. We want to fix the pain in your knee, and just, yeah, don't overdo it. I never go to pain, because I know if I go to pain, then that's going to throw me off for a few days. And so, but I'm glad you're doing the red light therapy. That's a good thing too. So let us know how that goes. So Debbie, how do I join the challenge? Well, it isn't anything to join. It's just something to do. So we just talked about it one day. I can't remember if we talked about it on Facebook or in the Zoom, or maybe it was even here on a live stream. We talked about doing it, and then I kept hearing from people that they were doing it. So we're just calling it a challenge, but it's not like, we're not organized, and there isn't anything to join per se. But like, you can start right now. You can do 10 right now, and just carry it on while you're watching this live stream. Although I'm not going to be more than 45 minutes now, and holy smokes, we're at I'm going to be another 15 minutes here. But especially if you have a desk job, this is really valuable for a desk job. Just keep doing it. Set that timer, put it on repeat, get those squats in. Blaze Becker, how many cans of sardines do you eat per week for your knee? So I'm kind of in, I'm doing maintenance sardines right now. I try to have
I don't get a can in every day, but I try to have some kind of seafood in every day. So yesterday I had sardines for lunch with some beef crackers. And today I haven't had any sardines yet, but I'm having salmon for dinner after this live stream is over. So I try to get one of the fatty fish in every single day. And every now and then I do a 3-day sardine challenge. So the 3-day sardine challenge, you guys have all heard about that from Dr. Boz, I'm sure. And I did one, and even she saw my video and loved it, and we've talked about that. But she's got a lot of great information on the sardines. I have a whole sardine playlist with different sardine recipes, different ways to do the challenge if you're averse to that many sardines. A lot of us do Omega Mondays. We do seafood all day long, can be any kind. That's what we call Omega Monday. We did a live stream about that a few weeks ago. Just get those omega 3s in any way you can if you have joint pain to heal, arthritis to heal. And that's basically what I do now. I just, if I'm hungry, and it's not time for a meal, and this has never happened, but it's not time for a meal yet. I'm allowed to eat a can of sardines as a snack. So of course I never do, but a lot of times for a quick lunch, I'll just open up a can of sardines or a can of salmon, and it makes a quick meal. So just get them in there if you can. Jan 319, how do you refeed after a sardine challenge? I honestly don't do anything special, but I do. So what I have done, so say I've done nothing but sardines for 3 days. I'm really ready for a steak by the, day 4. I want something like that. I'll have whatever I want for the first meal after, like after my 72 hours has expired, and then there's another, my next meal after that. I'll have whatever I want because I believe I've earned it. But then my next meal, I might include more sardines or some other seafood. Like I just sort of try to keep it going, but just not as at such an intense pace. Thanks for that question. Sherry, do you use a vacuum sealer for freezing meat? And if so, which do you use? I do. It makes the meat last longer and you don't get the freezer burn thing happening. Trying to remember what it's just like the least expensive one on Amazon. It's such a common name and I can't remember it. It's called Fresh and Seal, is it? Or maybe it'll come to me. Maybe it'll come to me. I'll say it if I think of it. Hey, look who's here. Chris Cooking Nashville. Have you experienced significant and frustrating stalls? And if so, what was the most successful way you broke them? Well, yes. All my stalls have been frustrating and some of them have lasted a long time, and sometimes I answered it a little more fully earlier, and I don't know if you were here then, but basically you need to know there comes a point as you get closer to goal weight where you need to know what is your TDEE, and are you under eating or overeating. So that's a factor. I do love doing little metabolic resets, I call them, and we've been talking a lot tonight about sardine challenges and about the other one that I do quite often is an egg fast as well. I find those can sometimes move the needle, and then I go right back to what I was doing before and carry on, and that seems okay. So a couple of ideas there for you, Chris. Patty Shanks, I'm really struggling to stay focused and motivated on maintenance. It's more difficult than trying to lose. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe trying the lion diet for 30 days would help me refocus. Well, I hope that you join us and we'll talk about it on the live streams, and I'll try to do a couple of Tuesday talks in October where we talk about it, and we'll go from there. So glad to have you join us. I do want to, because we're starting to get down to closer to the hour, I want to remind you guys about the Carnivore Bars. Your 2 complete meals here. Put in "eat meat," all one word, and we're going to have that draw in about 10 minutes. I'm going to try to get to some of these questions because they are adding up, and sometimes I talk too long. Okay, Sherry from Iowa. 12 weeks in keto carnivore, fast 16-8, very few carbs, down 35 pounds. Still have over 65 pounds, but I'm losing very slow now. Drop the carbs maybe. I don't know what types of carbs those are, or whether they're if they're animal carbs, just ignore them. But if they're other carbs, I would try dropping those. 12 weeks, 35 pounds. That's a lot. Your body is probably saying, hey, time for a little break, and it might just take a break. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that. You can practice for your maintenance, because you're going to be in maintenance at that rate pretty soon. The Carnivore Collective. I think we had this already. Sorry. Brought that up again. How did you start carnivore? This is a question from Barb's. What was your first day like? Okay, so the first day, it was pretty good. So you guys know, I gradually went from low carb to keto and then carnivore. So my first day was like my last day of keto, without anything, without the carbs. So bacon and eggs for breakfast, probably a steak in the evening, and then off to bed kind of thing. So it was pretty easy. And I know that in the beginning of doing carnivore, I played around with recipes and different things like that. That is a perfectly legitimate way to transition. I call those recipes transitional foods. Chris from Cooking Nashville has got many amazing transitional carnivore recipes for those people. And I use them a lot more in the beginning than I do now. Now I'm happy with meat on a plate because it serves me so well. And I've, getting rid of the last bit of carbs and things when I transitioned from keto to carnivore seemed to move the needle in a big way. And for my health too, and just how, my energy levels and even things, like hair, skin, nails, all of that stuff, pain, everything improved in a big way going all carnivore. And I know that can happen for many people here. So sometimes it seems like a minor thing to hang on to a few things, but it can make a big difference. And I'm hoping when I when I do my sea lion next month, that I kind of break down some final barriers that are there for me. But yeah, just start. Let's see. Patricia, each time I watch you, I keep thinking about how sweet and beautiful your smile is. Well, that's so nice. That is great. Thank you. Jan, hi Jan. Eat meat. You are my touchstone, Anita. Thank you for being so you. I can only be me. I love you, Jan. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Ann, do you track your blood pressure? Is it directly influenced by electrolyte imbalance? I used to track my blood pressure because I struggled with high blood pressure, but I haven't in a while. The only time I track it now is if I'm in the doctor's office and they want to know, or every now and then if I'm in the drugstore waiting for something. They have those chairs there. I might just pop in and do it. So no, I don't really. Is it directly influenced by electrolyte imbalance? I think that's a true statement. I think for some people it would be. I just don't know how, I don't know enough about that to really say. I'm not, not a doctor, obviously, or even pretend to be one. But look into that if you're concerned about it. Sardines seem to have the magic, Diane. I agree. What makes them so much more satiating than beef? It's like a miracle food. Well, I don't know about the satiating part. I know, I just know that like beef, I find beef very satiating, but I can't eat as many sardines as I can beef. So I think maybe that's where what we're talking about here, because if I'm a little bit hungry and my only choice is sardines, I might just say, I'll wait till the next meal. But yeah, so I think I kind of know what you're saying. There is something very magical about them. That I will agree with, and I'm so happy that I am one of those people that does like them, because it's really done a lot for me, I think. Okay, Mamie Mac, what does your Thanksgiving meal gonna look like on Lion Diet? Making any exceptions for that meal? No, and the fact that we Canadians have Thanksgiving in October, and I'm doing Lion Diet with no dairy in October. I'll be eating turkey. I'll probably make maybe I'll make a prime rib, that kind of thing. No, I won't be eating turkey because it's not a ruminant meat. You are right. And that's okay, because I don't even like turkey. It is one of my least favorite meats, and I only ever eat it when it's served at Thanksgiving. But this Thanksgiving, that is a good point. No turkey. I will be making a prime rib. So it's already decided. You know what? I can sit there and eat prime rib until I'm stuffed and not even worry about the rest of the food. It's just become a non-issue for me, and you get that way after a while. You honestly, and never thought I'd say it, but you get that way. Barb's D, how many meals a day do you usually have? A lot of times 3, because I'm trying to get a certain amount of protein in. My natural state, though, seems to be 2, and I'm going to allow it to be 2 during next month for sure. All right, we have to do this draw soon, but I just want to get an idea of how many. Okay, I'm just going to ask this or answer this quick question before we do the draw. Nia's Way. Hi, Nia. Nice to see you here. Making your first batch of El Rotary yogurt. Good for you. Do you recommend starting with half a cup? No, if you have sensitive gut, go a couple of tablespoons. I think Dr. Davis even mentioned a couple of teaspoons your first time, because you can have unexpected results. So go a tablespoon or 2 maybe, and see how you feel, and then work up slowly from there. Some people have reactions to it, so you want to make sure that you don't. So thanks for that question. Okay, we're going to do the draw, and then I'm going to try to answer a couple more questions after that. We're getting close to the hour. Let's see who is getting the carnivore bars. It's a lot of entries. We have almost 200 entries there. NJ. Okay, so NJ, if you are watching, I hope you're watching, please send me an email at ketogenicwoman@gmail.com with your contact information, like your full mailing address. These are going to come to you. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to whip through. Just Jason Keto has gifted someone with a membership. Thank you so much. Crows Clark, I was just making your sardine pate. That's a good one. And remembered you were live. Thank you for coming. Christina, I prefer eating seafood, shrimp, tuna, salmon, and sardines over beef. What are your thoughts? Well, I prefer beef. Those are my thoughts. But I love seafood, so I eat all those things as well. And I think that if you like seafood, you should eat seafood. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Pam, I'm eating around my TDEE, low calories and not losing fat day today, and had a really hard time getting to that level. I only eat more on work days, but then my energy expenditure is almost more. Okay, so yeah, maybe try a 3-day sardine challenge or an egg fast or something, and see if that kind of resets your metabolism. Get your Dr. Boz even suggested a butter day one day, which some of us tried to get your ketones up. So I don't know if you've had other things that have healed, but celebrate those as well. And just I just don't yeah, I not knowing, all the things that I would like to know. I don't have any extra advice other than what I've already given tonight for weight loss stalls. Jason, who else feels younger every day on your PhD proper human diet? Thank you so much, Jason. Let me see here. Julia had a 1-year stall because you're under eating. A lot of people don't know. Didn't know that until you did your macros, and you're 69. And medications can have an effect as well, 100%. And thank you for mentioning that. Jean Locke, is it typical to eat a lower percentage of fat on carnivore than on keto? I don't think so. I think traditional carnivore is about 70% fat. I mean, a ribeye, which a lot of people can relate to, is 70% fat, 30% protein. Most people on keto, 65 to 70% protein. So it should be about the same. Many people, in fact, go higher if they want. Let's see here. Okay. I have actually, this is the first time I have too many questions and not quite enough time. So I'm going to capture these and answer them in the comments afterwards. Quickly, low carb spin. The dehydrator I have is Kasori. I love it. How do I track? Where did I see that? I saw something about tracking. Now I can't find it. How do I track pork belly? So I use the Trader Joe's pork belly. They have an entry in Carb Manager as well as in Chronometer for cooked pork belly. Use that one. That's how you track cooked pork belly. It works. The others here are this is a quick one too. May I ask a question? Is pork and turkey something that a lot of people on carnivore don't eat? Okay, so the Coles notes on that is that they are not ruminants. They have one stomach. Cows and other ruminants have 4 stomachs. They eat all that. They bring in all that grass. They ruminate it, and we are getting the advantage. They're more nutrient dense for those of us who are carnivore and only eat meat. So that's why cows and beef and lamb is better for that. That is the very quick version. There's a little more to it, but there you go. Thank you, everybody. That actually literally was the last question. So we made it through with only a minute over. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. Thank you for coming. Next week, be sure to be here if you have any questions about the Lion Diet, because our guest, Christina, she has been on it, and she's carrying on after her 30 days, and she will help us answer some questions about that and her experience with it. So see you guys next Sunday. Thank you so much for coming. Love you all. Have a great week this week. Good night, everybody.